Listen to him. You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into the newspaper. Sometimes I tell you that we do a lot behind the scenes before we even come on air. So I was having a conversation with the Honorable Timothy Awontirim Ataboadey, and sometimes we do this. And we did it. And camera caught us live on air. Good morning, Honorable. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great. It's good to have you.
Good to see you too.
I like your haircut.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't know how you do it, but you keep looking younger and younger all the time.
Yes, certainly. Let me say good morning to our cherished viewers out there. It's by His grace and it's by His mercies that I keep looking younger. And I want to appreciate that from all of you, not just you, but to a lot of people I keep meeting. Even my own classmates will tell me, Tim, you don't grow old, we are all growing
Yeah.
old. So I think it's by the grace of God. When you put your trust in God, you can always get what you want to. And I want to appreciate that. And it's a matter of lifestyle too. I told you behind the scenes one day that I do a lot of walking.
Yes.
I can walk from here to even 37.
Mm-hmm. You said a lot.
Yeah, without even picking a car. You have to have that conscious effort to keep yourself looking good. Mm. And I like our late prophet TB, who always encourages us to dress well, that we shouldn't look at him, we should dress well when we are coming to church and so on and so forth. So I think that as a human being too, you must ensure, have that conscious effort that your body needs maintenance, whatever you wear, exude who you are. It also is a character definition of who you are and out there. So there are a lot of things. You must do a lot of exercises, eat well, and you continue to beam in what you say. I look younger and younger. Yes. I thank God for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have a lot of stories that the newspapers are reporting, but let's hear your voices this morning, especially on the anti-gay bill that was passed by Parliament, but was waiting on approval from the President. Now, on the 28th of February, that is last month. I was going to say this month. I thought we're still in February, but we are not. On the 28th of February last month, Parliament sat and passed the anti-gay bill, awaiting the approval of the President. And the President finally spoke yesterday. Now, before the President spoke, we saw Ministry of Finance also say that if Ghana should go ahead and pass this bill, we stand a chance of losing about $3.8 billion that we are awaiting in loan. Because some banks that we have already gone to see, the World Bank, as an example, the IMF, could also be affected. And hence, we ought to make sure that we pass the right bill and not just go ahead and pass a bill that could affect us, that could, get us into a place of confusion, because we need the money. Yes, we do need the money. But someone also asked me, what about the taxes that we pay in Ghana? What do we use it for? When you go to the port and you go clear your car or you clear your goods, all that amount of money that we pay, how much does it amount to at the end of the month? Let's look at the mining industries. Newmont, for example, how much is Newmont paying in taxes? For last year, the first quarter, Newmont paid 800 million Ghana cedis in taxes for just first quarter. And so people are asking, what are these monies being used for? Do we always have to be dependent on the West? Well, we'll answer all these questions right here on Prime Morning this morning. So let me quickly read what the newspapers have for us. And I'll start with the New Crusading Guide newspaper, the New Crusading Guide. John Kuma jabs Mahama over his false stance on economy. Apostle Boahin's boy granted 10,000 Ghana cedis bill, banned from Christian Divine Church premises. Kwabenya Traditional Authority laments overseas GAEC land. Sam George's U-turn on LGBTQ, surprising, media analyst says so. And analysts welcome new appointment of Ken Oforiatta, indicate it will enhance Ghana's image internationally. The Business Analyst, that's the next newspaper I'm reading, The Business Analyst. I value partnerships with development partners, a new finance minister asserts. 13th African Games and $195 million spent on infrastructure. German government partners ADB to create 1,600 jobs in northern region. Cocoa Board task force arrests illegal miners at Ataboadey Krum, Atobra Krum. I hope I got it right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Please pardon me. Transport fares to go up by 30% effective March 7th. And yes, fuel prices have gone up. So I'm not surprised. I think it's even kept long. We should have expected this a while back because fuel prices are high now. I think it's 13 cities plus. So it's not surprising that transport fares are to go up. But Ghanaians, just brace yourself. Economy Times, next newspaper, the Economy Times. Ghana's economy on a slippery path. Cut down on expenditure, says Seth Tekbe. Ghana's tax system needs reform. German government and ADB support creation of 1,600 jobs through setup of North Shore Apparel GH Limited in Savlugu. That'll be all for the Economy Times newspaper. The Supreme newspaper is the next newspaper. We hardly get this newspaper here, but we've gotten it this time around. The Supreme newspaper, Chief Justice cited for contempt. Include TCIM therapy as priority in your manifesto, Dr. Chemating to Baumia. Ignore ban on activities, including farming in Awing. And this coming from Traditional Council to residents. John Kuma punches Bahama for giving untrue verdict on the economy. NDC members express concerns over premature running mate speculation. And the banner headline, Samira storms Philadelphia, hails Prophet Adum Jnr. And that will be it for the Supreme newspaper. The Daily Guide newspaper is the next newspaper. I'm going to read the Daily Guide. It's actually the final newspaper. Kwesi Botchway gets CARICOM support, okay? Be content, independent CJ to judges. The banner headline, Anti-Gay Bill, which is our topic for today, Ghana to lose $3.8 billion World Bank funds. And this is what we heard from the Finance Ministry yesterday. Now await SC decision to assent to bill. We heard about it as well. Now, there's a story here that I want to speak about. First of all, I want to say that on behalf of the management and all of us, we want to apologize to Honorable Freddie Blay for a tape that is circulating. That interview was granted right here on Prime Morning, the big interview last week. And it wasn't meant to be like that. There was a slip of tongue by Honorable Freddie Blay. He was saying something to do with the NDC. There was a slip of tongue and he said NPP. And if you listen to the full tape or if you watch the full video, you understand that it was a slip of tongue. However, some people have decided to cut some parts and trend with the parts, making it seem as though Honorable is against his own party. I want to say that on behalf of the whole management and staff, we are really, really, really sorry about this misrepresentation. This is not what it was supposed to be, but being election year, some people will try as much as possible to change certain things. And so, Honorable, we are sorry about this misrepresentation. Please forgive us. So that will be all for the Daily Guide newspaper. Or maybe let me do a little entertainment, just one entertainment. Michael Cathon attempts couldn't make Guinness World Record guidelines, says Chef Faila Inshwaba Kojo denies Hajia for real. We heard that his name has been mentioned. That he's part of the Hajia for real issue. Well, we don't know whether it's true or it's not true, but let's concentrate on what is happening in our economy here. Talking about the anti-gay bill. I spoke about it earlier and I'll speak about it again. On the 28th of February, we had Parliament pass this anti-gay bill. It's actually criminalized it, saying that persons who are found guilty or found practicing could go to jail between a term of 6 months to 3 years. And if you are found of sponsoring, you could go to jail between a term of 5 years, 3 years to 5 years. Now, all the government was waiting for, or all Parliament was waiting for, was for the President to actually pass this bill. And President finally spoke yesterday. He did say that this case is in court. One person has taken it to court, hence we should await court decision. But before President spoke, we also heard the Ministry of Finance speak, saying that if this bill should be passed, Ghana could lose a tune of $3.8 billion that we are waiting for from the World Bank. Let's hear your voices this morning, but I know Honorable Timothy is ready for the conversation. Kwesi Botchway just walked in and he's representing at the NPP this morning. Good morning, Kwesi.
Good morning, Roselyn.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Where is your made in Ghana outfit?
I'm using a made in Ghana watch, actually. I'm using a caveman watch.
Yeah, it's your caveman.
Yeah,
okay, and I see the Ghana brooch as well. So you are embodying the Ghana very well. That's good. That's good. Anyway, so welcome. Have you relaxed enough?
Not yet.
Not yet, so I can start the conversation with Honorable. Honorable, this anti-gay bill, I know you are a strong, or should I say a staunch Christian.
Yeah.
And for Christians, they'll say that it's against their values. We've all actually heard the Catholic bishops say that we should not criminalize it. Although it is wrong, it still should not be criminalized because some people, it's at no fault of theirs for them to be practicing something like this. But then then was Parliament that decided that we still have to pass this bill. And now President is saying that, hold on, let courts make a decision and I will decide on whether we pass the bill or not.
Yes, let me say good morning once again. Good morning to Botchway, Mr. Botchway. We haven't met for some time. Hope you are doing well.
I'm very well.
Yes, interesting. The gay bill has come to stay with us as it is today, or as it has been passed by Parliament. It went through a lot of Herculean task, a lot of hue and cry about it from the members of Parliament themselves to the general public, to cutting across various religious sectors in this country. Even if you're an atheist, you don't believe in the existence of any God, you still would want to put your thought on it. It has gone international. We know how it has gone around the globe. It came back, especially the sponsors have been interviewed internationally. We also know that this bill was not in the interest of our development partners, such as the US and Western Europe and so on, because they have accepted and adapted it to be part and parcel of their cultural practices. For us in this part of the world, the whole of Africa and some parts of the world, it's a no matter at all. And like a Christian, like you said, we believe that most of these things are not just biologically created. Sometimes they are spiritual attacks, but that can then be left to be decided later on. But as a country, we are ruled by laws. We are ruled by the norms, the conventions, the usages and practices of our people must come to be. That's why when you are formulating a law, you need all these things. Conventions, customs, usages and practices are part of the law. Sometimes even the law is crafted such a way that you need wisdom to be able to give judgment and do the interpretation and implement it. So back to the gay issue, I think the major issue that confronted now, we've gone through the quagmire, the chilling, what confronted now is we've gotten to the point that the president must assent his signature to. Now, it has been passed in Parliament. Yesterday, I read a short tweet or something from the presidency, I don't know whether it's true, saying that where it has gotten to, a private citizen has sent the matter to the Supreme Court for interpretation and a ruling on it. And I was wondering whether it did come from the president, because a bill as it is, it has not yet been assented to. It's still a bill. Whether you can send a bill to the Supreme Court or to any court for interpretation, that is the interesting thing. But when the issue of e-levy came, the president signed it with the speed of lightning. He didn't waste time at all. Why is the dragging of feet on this matter? What did they know that we don't know? What is underneath it that we don't know? Is it the issues that we now come to realize that the Minister of Finance has written to the president not to sign it because of the amount of 3.8 billion that we are likely to lose should we sign these bills? Is that what we are talking about? That is why we have often told the government that, look, you've run the economy in a reckless way. If not, we do not really need 3.8 million support.
Billion.
Even a billion support. Even in terms of our budgetary support, about 600 million so from the Western people to dictate to us our line of living in this part of the world. Why do I say so? I say so because this government alone got over 411 billion cedis worth of taxes. This is not borrowed money. We Ghanaians pay to them. If these monies were...
Is it Ghana cedis or dollars?
No, Ghana cedis, okay. 411 billion taxes alone. If these monies were invested in capital projects that had the capacity to pay even the taxes off, and we make money for, we do not need 3.8 billion. And I've often said this, I'm yet coming to the Eurobonds. I've often said that, you see, we go into the IMF at this time to take a $3 billion facility from them. It's not because we cannot mobilize $3 billion. It is because the economy is junked. We've been locked out from the international capital market, and we cannot even borrow $1. So we needed the IMF to guarantee this. The IMF is to guarantee and tell the world that, look, notwithstanding the junk status, the border status of the Ghanaian economy, we are the big brothers behind them, and that you can give out loans. Ghana, that is why we are under very strict IMF conditionality now. As we said, the taxes of the 15% VAT on electricity and all, these are IMF conditionalities. The austerity is huge. And it is difficult for government to remove the taxes, because the IMF will tell that if you remove tax A, then you have to bring in tax B, because the issue is to look at your inflows, the revenues, that will be able to put you in a pedestal that will make you credit worthy out there. It is the reckless spending of hard-earned revenue that has led us to the fact that we now would have to be compelled or kowtowed to the conditions of the IMF and the Western world by waiting for a $3.8 billion, not for the president to assent to a bill that concerns more than 90% of the population of this country. That is dear to the heart of almost everybody. It is dear to you. Cut it across. Whether you're an atheist, you're a staunch believer, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim. The Muslims even hate it worse than even we, the Christians. Sometimes we, the Christians, because of our love emanating from Christ, sometimes we tend to have some level of acceptability. But for the Muslim, no. That is what it tells you. Now, this government borrowed, in terms of the total facility, $13 billion. And if the $13 billion could not do the magic for you, is it the $3.8 billion that will do the magic for you? COVID alone, we had $6 billion. COVID alone, we had $6 billion. As we sit this morning, one of the areas we can easily always glean money from is Cocoa Board, through the syndicated loans. As we sit today, Cocoa Board cannot syndicate loans up to the tune of the billions that we used to syndicate, because the cocoa sector is almost at its knees.
Okay.
I am saying that because even where we are going for the syndicated loans, the interest rate is 8%, very high, unprecedented.
So for the $3.8 billion that we are expecting from the World Bank, the percentage to pay on there is 8%.
The percentage on syndicated loans now.
Okay, now.
Because of that. And, the issues are many. It's because of reckless spending.
Anyway, I'll come back to you as you find some of the issues to discuss.
I want to
bring Botchway into the conversation. Now, Botchway, let me quickly correct something. So I don't know if it's a write-up or as a post or something that's going around. We are yet to get confirmation from the Flagstaff House or from the Office of the President as to whether it's true or it's not true. But this is what is going around, saying that the President is saying people should relax and wait for the court of law to make a decision on it. But hopefully we'll hear from the Office of the President, because there is no how do I put it? No letterhead, no proper signature to it. We can't say this is from the Office of the President, but definitely before the close of the day, we'll hear from the Office of the President as to whether this is true or this is not true. We'll hear about that. But let me come to Kwesi. Kwesi, people think that we are selling our pride to the West. Do you agree?
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to yourself and to Honorable. I think it's been a while. Honorable is looking much younger.
I was thinking
the economy is good for you.
I'll be an advert for
Let me say a good morning to His Excellency.
No, but I guess I'm not. This my in-law. I think he's watching me in Bolga. Very interesting young man, and he was my classmate. I always say when this was in power, you were looking good, and when your own party is in power, he's in NPP and I'm in.
okay, so you are looking better now. Eh?
It means the economy now is very good for me.
Just like it was good for that my in-law.
So let me say a very good morning to His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party and the incoming president, hopefully in 2025.
You people don't greet the president anymore. Why?
And a good morning to His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, one of the finest presidents we've had in the Fourth Republic.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Honorable was quite
honorable to him.
Yes.
But you don't do that.
That's my opinion.
That is his opinion, honorable. Yes, please go
Roselyn,
ahead.
let me start from something Honorable said. Honorable mentioned that we have gotten to the stage where the president must assent to the bill. I think we haven't gotten there yet. Yesterday, I listened to the majority leader in Parliament, Honorable Afenyo Makin, when he said the bill is even yet to be approved by the Speaker. So the bill is still at the drafting department of Parliament. So the bill hasn't left Parliament yet. So we have enough time. Because he mentioned that there are a few amendments that were made during the readings of the bill. So they all have to be inserted to make sure that it's a complete document before it gets to the president. So we haven't gotten to that point yet, but we'll definitely get there. Now, Roselyn, this LGBT matter is a very sensitive matter.
Very.
And I would want us to look at it from a perspective where we take out, emotions, and because this is a law that eventually it's going to bite everybody. And so let's take our time and think through it very well. Personally, I am against LGBT. I mean, for the record, maybe because of the path I'll go, somebody will go and sit somewhere and say that even this guy is supporting it, I'm against LGBT. It's something that is very terrible that we shouldn't tolerate.
You didn't add a Q.
Q, I, G, and all those things. It's something that is very terrible. Gayism and lesbianism is stinking. It's something that shouldn't be tolerated. It is not part of our culture. It is not part of our customs. And so, in fact, Roselyn, to be very fair with you, I have listened to a few proponents of this LGBT matter, those advocating that the law shouldn't be passed. For me, I think they've made very weak arguments. None of them have even made any cogent argument as to why the bill should not be passed. So I think even they themselves haven't even been able to convince themselves that it is something that we should all accept as a nation. However, my challenge with the bill is the criminalization of the act. Because if we say somebody is engaging in a stinking act, I think the correctional measure should be checked. Because I am aware. In fact, I watched a documentary on social media where a prisoner was saying that now if you go to the various prisons, most of them are even practicing this act.
Yeah.
And so let us check it well. As a country, do we want to go the path that when people are involved in certain stinking acts, we take them to the prisons where they may even be worse? So let's look at it well. And I'm sure that is the point of the president, criminalizing the offenders or even advocates. Because in the bill, there is a provision that even the media house, if you discuss LGBT and you don't even take care, you might find yourself wanted.
Especially if you speak about it as if you are promoting it.
Exactly.
Or advocating for it.
So now what qualifies the promotion of the LGBT bill? You see, some of these things are subject to interpretation. And so I'm very glad somebody has taken it to court for the court to, dissect it and bring finality to certain issues. So, Roselyn, I think going forward, I am sure the president has said times without number that under his watch, LGBT or gayism is not going to be accepted. He said that, on several occasions. The national chairman of the New Patriotic Party has also said that on several occasions. And so the position of the New Patriotic Party is that we are not in support of homosexuality. However, because this is a law going to bind the entire, populace, let us take our time. Let us widen the stakeholder consultation. Let us think through it very well And let's get to a point where the bill or the law, when the bill assented, will be something good for all of us. Clearly,
you think two years of fighting for this bill to be passed is not good enough for them to think through? You think that it was too short a time for them to be fighting in Parliament for this bill to be passed?
I think, Roselyn, if you ask me, I followed the conversation in Parliament, and I think most of the arguments made by some of the members of Parliament were very emotional arguments. Yes, and I mean, we can give them the benefit of the doubt. But when you critically look at it, like I've pointed out to you, the criminalization of certain acts should be really checked. Because then somebody may even raise the case of media freedom. Because we say we are practicing a democracy where the media is capable of saying anything anyhow. And now we want to pass a law trying to
No, we don't say anything anyhow. You guard what you say.
Anyway, but when we pass a law trying to gag the media on how they position certain things, I think we should look at it carefully. I agree Parliament has the powers to pass any proper law by virtue of Article 93. However, the President also under Clause 8 of Article 106 of the Constitution and Clause 8 has the right to refuse to assent to a bill.
Yeah.
But the President must state reasons in the memorandum as to why he is refusing to assent to the bill. The President may also refer the bill to the Council of State to profess recommendations on the way forward. So I think we haven't gotten to that stage yet. But I can confirm the...
Let me ask you this. 3.8 billion, Ghana to lose it if we should go ahead and pass this bill. Why do we have to be threatened on decisions that we want to make? We should decide, we should be able to decide that we are passing it or we are not passing it, not because of monies we are losing, but just because we want it or we don't want it.
I agree. Ghana doesn't live in a vacuum. We live in a global space. We have development partners like the IMF, like the World Bank. These people have their principles. Ghana as a state, we also have our underpinnings and our principles. Their principle is that they accept the LGBT, rights. Ghana's position is that we do not accept it. Clearly, if you look at the letter or the press release issued by the Ministry of Finance, if you look at their recommendations, they are putting in measures to curtail the shock in the expected circumstance when the bill is assented. And so I have heard several people say on social media that the Ministry of Finance says the President shouldn't assent to the bill. The Ministry of Finance hasn't said that anywhere. As part of the recommendations of the Ministry of Finance, they only ask the President to defer his assent to the bill until the legal issues pending in the court are rectified. And I agree when they say that, because when the President assents to the bill, the President automatically prejudices the matter before the Supreme Court. And so let's allow the court to bring finality to some of these legal issues. And then at the end of the day, I am very confident that when it gets to the point that the President has to assent to the bill, he would rightly do so. And on the write-up that you were reading before, I can authenticate it that it's coming from the President. I think he met the diplomatic section of the diplomatic corps.
Okay, so we can put the write-up up.
Yes.
Okay, so Kwesi Botchway has authenticated the write-up.
In fact, as a matter of fact, the Director of Communications at the Presidency even posted it yesterday. So yes, I think.
Okay, so the write-up is actually accurate.
It is.
Okay, so the write-up, we'll try and project this on the screen for those of you who haven't seen the write-up. But I think the second paragraph says, I think it will serve little purpose to go at this stage into the details of the origin of this proposed law, which is yet to reach my desk. But suffice it to say that I have learnt that today a challenge has been mounted at the Supreme Court by a concerned citizen to the constitutionality, of the proposed legislation. In the circumstances, it will be as well for all of us to hold our hands and await the decision of the court before any action is taken. The operation of the institutions of the Ghanaian state will determine the future trajectory of the rule of law and human rights compliance in our country. President Akufo-Addo, 4th of March, 2024. Diplomatic New Year greetings with members of diplomatic corps. So Kwesi has told us that this is actually coming from the president. So the president has said that we should wait for the court to speak. But you see, people's concerns had to do with probably the timing. It came at a time when the Ministry of Finance had come to say that we stand a chance of losing $3.8 billion that we are already negotiating for. And now President is saying, okay, let's hold on. So probably the timing could have been the reason why people think that we are selling our pride to the West. But let me come to Honorable Timothy on this one.
You see, I've listened to my brother Botchway, and I have the statement from the Ministry of Finance. The issue is that, can a bill be sent to the court? Obviously, no.
No,
it is not yet.
A person can go to the court to seek a declaration to stop the president from assenting to a bill that may contravene the Constitution. If you read Article 1, Clause 2, it is clear that everybody can go to court to protect the Constitution.
I agree.
This is a matter of human rights, and human rights are enshrined in the Constitution. It's a constitutional provision, so anybody can do that.
Okay.
I agree, but for my experiences in Parliament, for the fact that this bill has gone through the stages of making law, first readings and to the final stage, it is yet to be assented to. It is still, like you say, it hasn't even left the presence of Parliament.
Yeah. He doesn't even have it on
the
his
president,
desk yet.
even when the president does not assent his signature to it, it becomes just a proposal and not a finality. So I don't see the preemptive action that is being advocated, or that is being advocated by those people who are in favor and those against, that the bill, we must wait until the Supreme Court determines that. I cannot find my way throughout the law. I'm not a lawyer, but we need a lawyer to tell us whether can a bill, as it is now, like Botchway said, is still in the prison because some corrections are being made. If some corrections are being made, we don't know the finality, then how can it be sent to Supreme Court for interpret? That's the first thing. The second thing, my brother talked about criminalization.
Did the NDC send the e-levy to court? The passing of the e-levy
It was after the passing.
It was after.
When it's a law, you can then go and challenge, because in the process of making a law, like he said, it must be done in consonance with the Constitution. Any act or provision of an act of Parliament that contravenes the Constitution must be declared null and void by the same Supreme Court and so on. And any act by the executive that is considered ultra-vires the Constitution must also be sent to the Supreme Court to be declared null and void. So for me, the preemptive action they are taking against a bill that has not become a law is the crux of the matter. What have they seen? What is there that we don't know? The president is a lawyer. The speaker, through all of them, they are lawyers, seasoned lawyers in both sides, constitutional and law lectures and so on. So, and I think that it went through all these phases. Memoranda were sent to Parliament. Yesterday, when I was listening to one of the proponents, he said that there were a lot of other, these people, the Odrigajepo group, met them as a committee. They had a lot of input from outside, from civil society organizations and so on. So where it has gotten to, I don't see any provision of the bill that contradicts or would contradict the what do you call it, the act when it is passed into law, the bill when it's passed into law. But my brother talked about criminalization. You see, yesterday I listened to Honorable Dafia Makpo when he had his, there were discussions on Bernard Avle's program and so on. And he talked about the media too. And he said, no, once the media covered the event with the intention of giving out information, because that's one of the rules, the major role of the media, to the public, there's nothing to do. But when the media is seen, and I like the way you came in, as promoting and supporting the activities of LGBTQ, then it becomes what? You are roped into the net. It becomes a criminal issue and you'll be taken through due process. But if LGBT people are demonstrating, you go to cover, to showcase to the world that this is what has happened. You are giving out information. It does not in any way criminalizes the media and so on. And the issue of to reform those who are involved in the act, not to unnecessarily criminalize them, I don't think that's the issue. In fact, the prisons are supposed to be a reformative areas.
But they are not.
They are not. I agree with that because of the condition, the fact that so much resources are not put there. But first of all, you have to get the fellow guilty and the fellow through prisons have reformed people who even came out to be pastors and they say they are born again. As to whether that is so or not, it has changed them. This is an issue that has been with us for a long time. Even the old law criminalizes the anal penetrations and so on. The old law that people have argued that already there are laws in this country that protects people and then frowns on the practice of gayism, lesbianism, and other acts that are not in consonance with our living and so on. So for me, the law, even before this, exists to criminalize you and to imprison you. When you, that is why Dr. Al Abbas? Yes, a medical doctor was.
Doctor. Yes, I think yes.
So the law is there.
He was in Medina or something, right?
No, I think it was around somewhere in the Cape Coast region.
Okay, okay.
And so on. So we can cite several of those cases. But you see, the president must demonstrate the willingness and the speed with which he assented to other bills and so on, notwithstanding the fact that it has turned to be like an albatross now for the fact that if we don't sign 3.8 billion, dollars, is going to be a problem. So that's why I told you that.
Kwesi made a point. Can we have this law not being criminalized, but finding other punitive measures instead of it being criminalized?
I think all the horizontal and vertical issues have been discussed as to whether it should be criminalized or not. It has gone through all those stages. All those even against it met the committee, gave their inputs. So I don't see how we can do it, because for now, all what Botchway is suggesting, what you have brought up, what I'm saying, has gone through.
It's gone through the whole process.
It has gone through the process. They've looked at the issues. How do we handle the criminalization of this aspect of it and so on? Lawyers, brilliant guys, all of us, we know them from both parties are on the committee that looked at this. Even it's a private, the sponsors to how good they are.
So we are looking at...
even gone international.
We are looking at the amount of money that we could lose.
That is the real issue.
Meaning that Ghana will struggle if we should pass this bill.
Yes, but if that's why I started quoting the amount of monies that we got under this government. That if we had invested the monies into areas that would pay off, make income for ourselves, and employ a lot. As we talked this morning, there's huge unemployment level. 850,000 people have slided into poverty. Ghana Statistical Service just brought the information that 8.4 million people cannot get regular meal to eat in a day. You understand? 2.4 million people are having health challenges and so on. All is because of the reckless use of the amount of money that came to the current government. If they had invested them into areas that would expand the economy and so on, then we wouldn't have gotten there where we are, the 3.8 million. And I've explained to you initially that the $3 billion that went for the World Bank is not just the $3 billion, but it was the fact that we had run the economy into a junk status, Ebola status. We needed the IMF to be our big brother. That is how come the IMF has brought a representative to sit at the Bank of Ghana, another one from Kamala Harris from the US as an economist to sit at the Ministry of Finance to ensure that we do our things well.
The Bank of Ghana did speak about, how it will actually impact our city, that's the city depreciation, if we should go ahead and,
Yeah, certainly, as we even talked today, that it has not even gone.
So we are all struggling, and will you want to struggle? Honorable, will you want to struggle? Will you want to sell? Will you want to sell, will you want to give yourself out for struggles because of a bill?
The history does not tell us that the 3.8 is going to solve our problem. If 13 billion.
Well, it tells us here by the Ministry of Finance saying that in total, and I'll quickly read it. It says, in total, Ghana is likely... Honorable, let me read it, please. This is the statement. It says, in total, Ghana is likely to lose $3.8 billion in World Bank financing over the next 5 to 6 years. For 2024, Ghana will lose $600 million budget support and $250 million for the Financial Stability Fund. This will negatively impact on Ghana's foreign exchange reserves and exchange rate stability, as these inflows are expected to shore the country's reserve position.
Yeah, but
so we'll struggle.
This is a drop in. That is what I told you.
But you will struggle. I will struggle.
No. Don't let us go there. The struggle is even there. We are struggling already.
But it will be worse.
Look, if we all have consensus on the matter, people are normally ready to sacrifice for the good of the people. People are ready to sacrifice for the good name of the country where they belong to. People are proud human beings. Like the Minister for Finance told us sometimes that we won't go to the IMF because we are proud people. We have the money is here, and so we're told that the money is here. And really true, the borrowing shows the money is here. Look, let me tell you, 3.8 billion is a dot. We are using only 600 million to support the budget. 600 million. Then 300 million financing the first Ghana resilient recovery development policy of budget support. $300 million. Then it goes on to tell you that the ongoing negotiations on the second resilient development policy, which is also 300 million put together, $600 million. Do you know how much we lost through Ajapa? Do you know how much we lost?
We are not talking about Ajapa yet. No. We are talking about the LGBT. Honorable, please.
Let him land, please.
Kwesi, he's gone on the tangent that the economy is on a junk status. I could respond to all those, but we are
respond. When is your
you see,
but it's a fact.
Let him land. Thank you very much.
It's a fact, Kwesi, the economy is junk. The economy is junk. We cannot borrow $1 from. I'm not saying it. That is why we went for the $3 billion.
We cannot borrow $1 from
$1 from outside from our creditors. You know that. And you know that as we talked this morning.
A few minutes ago, you were saying that if we pass this bill into law, we would not be able to receive
IMF conditions, please. You know that we went so alarming. You see, we cannot borrow even $1 from the capital market because of our junk status, our border status this morning. And when I brought in Ajapa, there are all sources of money. There are sources of revenue. We use 58 million to dig a hole. It's Ghanaian people's money.
We'll commission tomorrow.
I hope all of the cameras will be there for us.
We'll commission tomorrow.
Now, if you go through Auditor's General Report, over 52 billion, we can go on and mention them. PDS, we lost millions of... IEA said that we lost $2 billion, IEA, $2 billion from PDS.
But where we are today, we need to get to this $3.80 billion US.
What I'm telling you this morning is this. If we had done if we have managed the economy well, as we were told that the MPP were better managers of the economy. Let's use the basis at which we handed over the economy to them.
Okay.
Even if we, at 2016, even if we use that as the base year, we handed over an economy that wasn't that the overall rating was B-. But they call us a junk status. They handed over to themselves after 2017, after 2020, they handed over to MPP. They went to a world market, they went to borrow, and they were sacked from it means that you have a junk. We don't even have an economy.
Okay.
See, what I'm simply saying that if these monies that we borrowed, the $13 billion were invested rightly, COVID alone, $6 billion.
Anyway.
Look at the revenue, 411 billion tax revenue. No government under the Republic of Ghana has ever had such quantum of money. Now tell me where these monies were invested. Tell me if you can pinpoint where a chunk of the money was invested, then we can say that we are going. And my issue is that 3.8 billion, what can you do if you have an amount of money going into 1 trillion Ghana cedis as revenue? What can 3.8 billion do?
Kwesi, I think some questions have been asked.
Like I said, let me end on this note.
Please end.
If the people of Ghana can always go through hardship to save the image of Ghana, if things are done rightly, people pay taxes because they pay the tax and then the taxes will be used for the benefit of the country and for all of us. If they resist payment of taxes, if they realize that the taxes they pay are always done under corruption, mismanagement, recklessness, people will not pay taxes.
Okay.
That is the issue of paying taxes in this part of the world and that of the Western world, because taxes there are used and people see what the taxes
All right, Honorable. Let me come to Kwesi. Kwesi, I just want to use or borrow a few of Honorable's points and ask you questions. When we go to the Western world, taxes that are paid are almost similar to what we are paying in Ghana in percentage-wise. They don't depend on other countries to build their country. They build their country. Why can't we do the same? Because we are taking taxes in percentage-wise. Look at the number of taxes we pay. We even pay COVID levy. So why do we still have to be dependent on the West?
Roselyn, thank you. But you see, Honorable made certain contradictory points. Honorable in one leg says that we don't have an economy at all. Then he comes back to say that the economy is in junk status. So if we don't have an economy, how come the economy is in junk status?
That is
Honorable, wait. It is very unfortunate that you are trying to play politics with this LGBT matter. I am expecting that we all come together. This is a law that is going to bind both NPP and NDC members. I am sure that if there are any people practicing lesbianism or gayism in this country, some of them are NPP and some of them are NDC. I'm even sure that some of the partners, one person is with NPP and the other person is with the NDC. So some of these matters, let us not play politics with it.
But unfortunately, that's what it is.
That's the tangent. The NDC wants to score political points with the passage of this LGBT.
How would they score political points on it?
Can't you see? One can't hear what the honorable is saying.
If it's passed,
no, you see,
passed under your government, and your government get the points.
Perfectly.
Not the NDC.
No, but you see, the NDC is trying to create a picture that, okay, we don't care if we lose the money. Let's not think about any other thing. Let's just, as president, assent to the bill. Let us not do any other broader stakeholder consultations and all that. Roselyn, the point about this LGBT matter is that, like I mentioned to you, these Bretton Woods institutions, they have their principles. Ghana, we also have their principle. Honorable is pinpointing, just picking and choosing points in the Ministry of Finance's release. Let me read a portion of the release to you. Look at the recommendation by the ministry. This is what was printed by Honorable.
Yes.
This is what was released.
This is Honorable's document that I am
This was released by the Ministry of Finance today. I have it on my phone.
It even cost me.
Exactly. So at the recommendation stage,
you listen to the recommendation.
They said, at the MOF level, that is at the Ministry of Finance level, the ministry will continue to engage with the IMF or the alternative credible sources of funding that will plug the financing gap. And listen to the B. GRA to embark on a vigorous revenue mobilization drive, focusing on implementation of approved measures as well as compliance. And then the last but one is consider possible expenditure rationalization to accommodate the shock from the potential withdrawal of resources, meaning that the Ministry of Finance itself is anticipating that there may be a shock. And so the government
but the Ministry of Finance
is
not telling us there may be a shock. What Ministry of Finance said to us is
Roselyn,
that if we should go ahead and pass this bill, we stand a chance of losing $3.8 billion.
And that is exactly the shock I'm talking about.
The Ministry of Finance is telling us that it will affect our city and our city will be depreciated. This is what Ministry of Finance is saying. And if we should go ahead and pass the bill, the shock will happen.
Roselyn, at this point, Ghana is coming out of a point where we were struck by COVID. You agree with me that COVID affected several sectors of our economy, and that is in no doubt. And now that we are recovering, that these Bretton Woods institutions are supporting Ghana and several other African countries to recover. Now they come back to tell us that. Now they come back to tell us that. I agree. Now they come back to tell us that if you pass this bill into law, we are going to withdraw our services from you. And the Ministry of Finance is telling us that let us tighten our belts so that in the worst case scenario, when these people withdraw from us, we would not be found wanting. So I think, Roselyn, this is not an NPP and NDC matter.
No, it's not.
In any case, your flag bearer. In any case, the flag bearer.
But let me ask you this, Kwesi.
Roselyn, let me land. In any case, the flag bearer of the NDC in 2015, in an interview, I have the video here, mentioned that Ghanaians need more education on the impact and the implications of this LGBT conversation, as far back as 2015. So what has changed now? Nobody is saying that LGBT is good. Nobody is saying that. But all what we are saying is that let us take our time. Let us widen the consultations. Let Ghanaians understand the implications and the impact that is ahead of us. And if we are ready to face the impact as a nation, we go in full force. That is all what the Ministry of Finance is saying.
Kwesi, for me, I'll say that this anti-LGBTQ, bill, people want it passed, people don't want it passed. It's been divided. But for me and some citizens, the concern is to do with why the West is meddling in our affairs of decision making. Why do we have to go through threats when we have to make a decision? As to whether we want to pass it or not, that is not up to the West to threaten us on monies we'll lose. People are paying so much in taxes. What are we using the taxpayers' money for?
I agree.
Where is the tax? Where is the tax? there are people that pay. I know somebody that pays about 10,000 Ghana cedis tax every month. Somebody pays 50,000 Ghana cedis tax every month. Newmont, first quarter, 800 million Ghana cedis tax. What are we using these monies for?
Roselyn,
you go clear your goods at the port. You are paying, and you are charged even in dollars. You are quoted in dollars before converted to cedis. What are we using these monies for? Yet we are being threatened with 3.8 billion US dollars. So it's not about the bill. It's about the threats that is coming in.
I agree. You see, on the matter of taxes, we live in a country with about 32 million population. And we have just about 13% of our population paying taxes. So if 13% are just the people within our tax,
if you say 13%, we are being told 13%, but I beg to differ because even e-levy is charging.
No, that is what the data shows.
No, but it's still a tax. Because even my grandmother in the village is paying e-levy. It's still a form of tax.
No, but the data shows that it is only 13%.
I mean, with this particular data, sometimes I question it because you're charging me e-levy. You're telling me that 13% is paying tax. You are using a data based on how much somebody is making, based on who is earning monthly salary. But we are taking taxes from individuals that probably are not earning salaries monthly.
Roselyn, I think probably the taxes that we are collecting are inadequate to finance our expenditure. Because 80% of the taxes we take in Ghana go into payment of salaries, public sector salaries. Because in Ghana now, everybody wants a public sector job. So 80 to 85% of our salaries are going into the payment of salaries. So except you want to tell us that we should stop paying salaries, then we use the monies to,
Are they not there to work to raise revenue?
Which people?
When they go to work, the public sector.
Not all of them. Not all of them. They are just certain people that provide services and not necessarily generate 80% revenue.
Of our taxes.
For instance, our nurses, they don't generate revenue for us, but government pays them all the time.
And when you go to the hospital, you pay hospital bills.
Oh, not
it's
entirely.
Not free.
Not entirely.
Yeah, but
the
you
national
pay.
Health Insurance
but you
is
still
working.
Pay some.
Not entirely.
You still pay.
No, it depends on the hospital you go.
You still pay some.
No, if you have
so they still generate revenue, whether little or not. They generate revenue.
Oh, please, they take national health insurance. I was in Sandemar said they take national health insurance.
Even in Sandemar.
The whole point about this fact is that this further, exposes the nation that we have to be self-reliant and self-dependent. I mean, this goes back to the days of Nkrumah. We've been borrowing from these institutions since the days of Nkrumah. It is not only President Akufo-Addo that is depending on support from its development partners or these Bretton Woods institutions. It's been a normal practice. And that is why when President Akufo-Addo assumed office, he mentioned that let us build a Ghana beyond aid. Honorables people ridiculed that statement.
So why
saying, how do we build a Ghana beyond aid?
So why didn't you?
But we are putting in measures to ensure that
Ghana beyond
very
aid
soon,
and the aid people are threatening us with monies that will...
No, during just after COVID, just after COVID,
yes.
when these credit agencies downgraded Ghana's economy, we were not receiving financing from any Bretton Woods institution, but the economy was still running. And that is why I just read the portion of the recommendation of the Ministry of Finance to you that GRA is to fasten their belt so that in the worst case scenario, when these people withdraw their support, we will still survive. Their support is just to revamp and to boost the economy, to put the economy on the path of recovery. I agree that times are hard. In fact, everybody knows that times are hard. I will be a hypocrite to sit here to say that all is well. But we should remember where we are coming from. And the fact that times are hard doesn't mean that the alternative is better. Under the tenure, there was no COVID. But they were not able to pay teachers. Under their tenure, if you come to Joy Prime, the amount the management of Joy Prime and Joy Multimedia used to buy fuel was even more than the salaries of their workers. Companies were using all their profits to buy fuel to power their generator sets and their plant. Under your tenure, today you have the balls to sit here to say that this economy is in a junk status. Your economy was in the dustbin then.
Okay. Let's see.
Because Roselyn, as a land,
we have time, so you don't have a problem. We have time. So
handed over B minus.
Please send in your comments to us. We are about to read some comments, so please do send in your comments to us. And let's let's get talking.
Was the Minister of Finance not aware that when the bill gets to this stage, these were the threats? Because they were part of the bill. John Kuma and then the woman, is that Madam Abena?
Yeah.
They were all in part of Parliament. They were part of the billing process. The Minister of Finance comes there. The current Minister for Finance, Dr. Anta. Anta is part, all of them are part of, were they not aware? Does this statistics just come about as a result that we got to this stage? They were aware that they were under an IMF program. Do you understand, Roselyn?
Okay.
So they sat in Parliament. They didn't put out this document. They didn't put out the document, even with their caucuses. You know, Parliament have something to do. Is it the meeting of the whole House? You could even discuss with your other colleagues with this document in the whole House when we are meeting. We have what we do. And then the business statement, you can even put and discuss about the implications, my brother. Mohammed Anta, Minister for Finance now. John Kuma they are all 3 members of Parliament.
Okay.
And
let me read some comments. I'll come to you, Honorable. Good morning, Roselyn. Let me go straight to the point. Kwesi there has nothing to tell Ghanaians. He's just there to read what has been written to him. Oh, he's telling us something. Why will you say he has nothing to say? Good morning to you, my dear sister. If it's because of mismanagement of the economy that we are into IMF, what also sent the NDC to the IMF when they claim to have managed the economy well? When JM travels outside the country, he speaks the truth that COVID-19 and Ukraine was what has devastated the world economy. But when he comes back to Ghana, is the mismanagement by the government. Sir Joe Baba Bogatanga. All right, thank you so much, Sir Joe. Good morning, madam. Please, how are you doing today? Hope everything is okay. Everything is okay. Why are you not allowing the NPP guy to talk? He's talking. It's unfair to you to do that. Please allow the gentleman to talk. Hey, multimedia. Felix. But he was talking. Kwesi didn't you talk? I was asking him questions, so I shouldn't ask questions.
Even the man inside didn't complain that you have not allowed him. Someone else is complaining.
Good morning, guys. Why is the anti-LGBTQ plus being so complicated and Ghana is a country on its own? How can a different country decide on our likes and dislikes? Can our leaders think deeply? All right, let me see what is here. Good morning. For over 7 years, we could not tighten our belts by blocking the loopholes of corruption like Ejapa, National Cathedral, COVID-19 funds, over 500 galamsey excavated, etc. Do we really care about Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana? Simon Bankurugu. Okay, Simon. Good morning, host. The president must sign this bill and stop talking. The president should know our culture. Achu from Katamaso. Achu, it's not easy like that, though. It's not easy. I sometimes wonder how the president is able to cope, though, because it's difficult, very difficult. Good morning, madam. The NPP told Ghanaians they have the men. Little did we know they had area boys. Teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, carriers are suffering, masons are suffering, and drivers are suffering. Solomon Katamaso. Please, when you send your message, don't attack any of my guests here, because if you do, I won't read your message. Good morning, Roselyn. A majority of Ghanaians have been suffering ever since, despite all this donor inflows. No African country will ever develop under IMF WB loans. The underdevelopment of Africa is the condition for the development of the West. We are at a crossroads now. Now we are choosing 3 billion aid, or we are defending our sovereignty and pride. We are watching. Honorable Timothy. Okay, good morning. Salug, all right.
Salug means good morning.
Good morning, Joy Prime, to your panelists and your viewers.
Salug.
I think most people still don't understand what the anti-LGBTQ plus bill passed by Parliament is. But mind you, nobody would like to sell his or her dignity for money. But the truth of the fact is that the country will suffer in terms of foreign aid. That's most of us, our worry. Yes, that's so true. Okay. Good morning, Joy Prime. Why was Freddie Blair whining, ranting? A slip of tongue? That is part of politics. It was a slip of tongue, honey. Please, it was a slip of tongue. I'm begging you. I did that interview, so I know what I'm talking about. It was a slip of tongue. Please. Good morning, Madam. I'm Idrisu from Yendi. Finance Ministry recommendation against approval of anti-LGBTQ is not surprised to some of us. The fact of the matter is that NPP party in general support LGBTQ, but thank God President Mahama will sign this bill, inshallah. Okay. Good morning, Beauty. And please don't use insulting words. Insulting words will not be read live on air. Thank you so much. Good morning, Beauty. Ghana don't need to rely on others by selling our conscience and entertain LGBTQ. If the managers of our economy had managed our economy well, we wouldn't have been where we are today. With huge sums of money, we couldn't manage our economy. So what would 3.8 billion do to us? It's high time we learn to be independent as a nation and take our destiny into our own hands. Thanks, George Treatle. Okay, good morning, Roselyn. I sometimes wonder why we are doing this to ourselves as a nation. The finance ministry should be made to know that they cannot sit on the interests of larger population of the country. Countries like Kenya, Zambia, Gambia, Senegal, and other countries are all part of the IMF program, but they all have this anti-LGBTQ laws going on in their countries, and nothing has happened to them. They still receive money from IMF. In any case, were we not in this country when the president declared Ghana as a country beyond aid? What were they thinking? We are waiting to see whether to assign or not to assign. It's time Dr. Bawumia comes out to declare his stance on this issue. Simple, because he wants to be president of this country. But why does he have to do that? Does he really have to do that? I don't think he has to. Good morning. Tell the young man he knows what is right and wrong, so he should know better than the chew and pour he's doing. He's not doing chew and pour. Oh. Ghana is an independent country and hence do not owe its sovereignty to any other country, and as such, no individual or organization reserves any right to indicate or suggest to Ghana what should be done concerning the Anti-LGBTQI bill. We are, however, met with these needless and unfounded threats from World Bank and some international communities because of recklessness of this government, leaving our economy in a mess. I really don't think losing $3 billion should be anything that can deter us as a country from assenting this bill into law. Good morning to my finest brother, Honorable Timothy Ataboadey, Daniel Akbaliok, Sandema.
No, we have fans from Sandema. Oh.
Certainly.
Good morning, Joy Prime. When Nigeria passed their own bill, who sued them in court is because of Ghana. That's why, hey, I'm struggling. Hey, somebody says I should listen to NPP. Okay, let me read this for you, okay? Madam, if you listen to the NPP and its communicators, you realize that simple respect for citizens of Ghana is missing in their blood. Oh, I thought they were coming to speak on your behalf. The NPP thinks they are the wisest species to live on earth. Right from day one, the President Nana Addo made it clear to us that the LGBTQ plus law wouldn't be passed, and it's bound to happen in Ghana. So why the pretense? Abbas Kumewu, did they really say that? Okay, Madam, good morning, Madam Host. The fact of the matter is that Ghana is not ready to face the anger of God Almighty, Allah. So we beg Akufo-Addo not to value money more than Ghanaians. Great Honorable Haruna Idris Tupac from Tamale. All right, Tupac, thank you so much. Good morning. Botchway is... good morning to you, Madam, and to your panelists. Madam, see how we Ghanaians and Africans in general are doing to ourselves. What do the Western world have, which is not in our motherland? Is it the gold, diamond, bauxite, iron, timber, cocoa, rubber, oil, etc.? With all the resources at our disposal, we still allowed ourselves to be controlled and manipulated by this white. We are still by these whites, okay? We are still slaves in our own country. Why? Because our leaders have refused to think outside the box. We have allowed corruption, greediness, favoritism, nepotism, tribalism, etc. to take over our level of thinking. It's time for incoming NDC government under John Mahama to change the narrative and let the Europe know that we can live without them. Madam, Nana Dumso is killing us here. Hey, is there a Dumso now? I don't know about that. As we speak, we are under darkness here in Karagat, Tamale. Oh, wow, I see. Marigasu incoming MP for Mio Alaji Mispao, Sumani Hamza. I'll read the last one and I come to you, okay? So that we don't take all our time. Good morning. Nana Addo is not tough president. We thought he was before 2016. Anyway, Nana Addo said it's about to happen. He even gave a clue that people must put pressure on him and it will work. The majority leader and co are putting pressure, so it's bound to happen. Patrick Accra. All right, I still have a lot of messages. I'll come back to you all and read your messages. We still have a lot more at the top. But Honorable, you were making a point, and then I'll come to you.
My point was that Butcher was talking about Parliament, and I said that, look, we have the current members of this government who are MPs and ministers of finance sitting there when this bill went through all the 2 years running up to today. To be honest, if they were honest and sincere to the people of this country, and today themselves as MPs, and today themselves looking at it, because when we've gotten to the IMF program, it didn't just come about. There's a program we are running. If you knew that why couldn't you have done this thing? When Parliament meets, why couldn't you do who are the stakeholders that have been left out in this debate? No stakeholder has been left out in this debate. Almost the whole country. It has gone international. Both CNN, you mentioned all your media houses and so on. Discussion of this have been on and off, on and off. We've seen how even those who are against this were bastardized, including the late lawyer of the president, Sheshi Akoto Ampao. He came out boldly and so on. So it has gone through. When the president do this thing and then say that a private citizen has sent the matter to the Supreme Court, you know you're a lawyer. What you are saying is not true.
But somebody has sent it to court. It's actually in court.
Yes.
So what he's saying is true.
And you see, Manasseh, talking about the recommendation.
It's Kwesi.
Kwesi, talking about the GR people, they are saying that the recommendation is that they should tighten and mobilize resources. Look, as we talked this morning, GRA staff, for the first time in the history of the are even having staff at the various banks monitoring them.
No. Banks.
Look, I have friends who work with EcoBank, and then
Roselyn, are you aware of this? For this, I've not seen any GRA staff.
No. I'm not aware of it.
You know what they do?
But we can
that they will come and monitor
but I don't know
the foreign inflows and so on. They are tied to the bank. Yeah.
Probably they are checking money laundering. Yeah. Probably.
No, you know money laundering. There's I think the financial and something.
But they work hand in hand with the GRA.
They come to check.
So what do they
at the
do?
weekend?
They check out
what they do is that, government is in need of money. Any little money that comes is transferred to the Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
Especially in foreign currency. It goes straight to the bank. The banks do not allow now to keep foreign currency. Okay. And this was told to me by a worker at
We'll definitely investigate.
But you can find out.
Yeah.
You see, what happened to your sing-song that you were coming to move from taxation to production. I think if you have really embarked on that, this 3.8 million wouldn't have come about. Because you told us that taxation is a work of incompetent government and so on, and that the borrowing and the taxation is too much. Today, everything, Botchway, is being taxed. You tell what you have left out in terms of the taxation. That is the issue. And the issue about the government is that they fail.
Honorable, we know that most of these taxations that we are talking about is coming because of this IMF that we have.
Yes, but even before IMF, 40 new taxes have been introduced. Even before IMF, we are paying COVID tax, we are paying Bola tax, we are paying even the banks that were the cleanup of the banks. We are paying for that. The water they gave us, we are paying and so on and so on. So the taxes are too much. Even not me. Sometimes when Guta people explain the taxes they pay, we are paying poverty. Is it period poverty?
Really? I don't know about that one.
Oh, the sanitation, the sanitary tax.
Okay.
15 taxes on one part.
Yeah.
When you go to clear a car now, it's over 20 taxes on each car. We've discussed this and so on. The taxes are simply
But the sanitary part is luxury products tax. It's not like we have sanitary pad tax. We don't have sanitary pad tax. It's luxury products. And it's just classified under luxury products.
But it's not luxury.
But we don't call it sanitary pad tax.
Yeah.
But even in the 2024 budget, that has been reviewed. So let's be fair.
Yes, it's been reviewed.
It's been reviewed. The sanitary part.
So I can tell you the taxes that are on people. Businesses are coming under the effect of the taxation. Guta has talked, almost all the institutions and so on.
Okay.
Talking about using 80 to 85% of our tax revenue to pay workers. My brother, it is not the best way to go. But what did we see? We've seen a ballooning of employment in public institutions, choking them. Look, I was.
So does it mean the employment?
No. I'm not saying there's no. Look.
Honorable, at a point we speak about unemployment.
No, we've discussed this. No, listen to me. We've discussed this in Roselyn.
Then this is against the recruitment of young people.
There's difference between the creation of employment and employing and choking this already existing state institutions.
Okay.
For instance, if Ghana Army needs 15,000, Then because of budgetary constraint, the government that handled was recruiting us at when they demand and people retire and people resign. Then you come and you see the 5,000, and then you employ and choke and even employ more. It will harm your distance. Go through and see the trainings that is going, the recruitment. I was at the airport on Thursday. My brother was coming from.
No, but when you land up, let me give you.
I saw they recruited a dwarf. They recruited a dwarf as a custom officer. And you know what, my friend?
No, Honorable, no, retract it. No, please.
Do you know the?
No, Honorable.
Is it the dwarf or what?
Yes. Because you see, it's a disability, and we do not.
A dwarf is not a disability.
It's a disability.
No.
It's a disability.
Dwarfism, if you call it
dwarfism, is a disability.
Yes.
You can check. And so you cannot, and we don't discriminate against anybody who is disabled. You know there are
standards for security service. That is why maybe some people who are even overtold, they don't go there. That is why some people who, they have their fiscal examination. And you know it. We don't have to sit here to go into it. They will even, they will tell that when you are this, that. You don't. When the height issue in terms of the securities, you know.
Yes.
When you are not up to certain height, they won't pick you.
So Honorable, dwarfism, we do not.
I didn't say the guy was suffering from dwarfism.
You said it's a dwarf. And anybody who is a dwarf is struggling from dwarfism.
Sometimes, let's not go on this.
I told you, no.
Honorable.
Stop it. I'm
let him land. Let him land. He has just 30 seconds to land.
I saw I was at the airport. The fellow was custom distant. Even a friend told the team, if it were to be you people, you say you were employing me, the one who drew my attention to. I'm not saying that he's suffering from dwarfism, which is I'm talking about the height. And that height cannot qualify you to join the security services. I didn't say that. The height is there. You've seen people who have gone several. So for me,
all right, Honorable,
this, and then let me land on
last sentence, because I need to go to critical. I don't have time.
Look, under this government,
we've taken
under this government, and industry is going negative 1.2%. A manufacturing is growing negative 1.0% in 2023. Construction side, and I'm not surprised about the construction, it grew negative 5%.
All right.
And I'm not surprised because even as we sit here, construction work has stalled.
Okay, Kwesi.
Roselyn, thank you very much. Clearly, it looks as if Honorable has deviated from what we were supposed to talk about. But let me start from the LGBT and then I come to where he landed. Roselyn, like I started initially, the LGBT matter is
You made us know that you don't like it.
It's a sensitive matter.
I like that.
2, it is an ungodly act and I don't support it.
Yeah.
However, let us think through it well. Let us all come together. Like Roselyn, you mentioned that there are a section of Ghanaians who say we should pass it. Others say President shouldn't assent it. Let's come to a consensus. As a nation, let us know the effects and the implications of us, the President assenting to the bill in its current state. Nobody is saying that we should accept homosexuality. The concerns by the person who has taken the matter to court is to check criminalizing people or offenders of this act. So let us think through it well. Nobody is supporting the I've received a couple of messages from friends and other people.
They think you're supporting.
Exactly. Nobody.
No, but you said that at the beginning.
Nobody is in support of the act. But let's just think.
People beat you.
So Roselyn, on the matter of the economy, Honorable sits here to say that this economy is in a mess. Under the Atena, teachers were working for 3 years. They were paying them 3 months. You couldn't even provide common chalk for teachers under your economy. No, please. Under your economy, you say you had a proper economy. Why did you abolish the teacher trainee allowance system? If you had a proper economy, under your economy,
was under IMF.
Even nurses.
That was under IMF.
Exactly, because the economy was in a mess. That was why they quickly ran to there was no COVID. Ghana, currently our justification for going to the IMF is because of COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukraine war.
But that's not the first time Ghana has gone to IMF.
Exactly, but under the NDC's 2015 IMF program, they went to IMF because of economic mismanagement. That was the reason why they went to Honorable
policy credibility. Please. No, I just want to remind you so that later I don't rebut. No,
don't rebut it now. Under your tenure, even nurses couldn't get clearance. The nurses watching me know what I'm talking about. From 2014 to 2016, nurses couldn't get clearance to be recruited. When we came to power, we have recruited all the backlog nurses.
Please, last week we got a nurse send us a message that she's been home for a while, so maybe you should help that nurse.
Probably she should go to the Ministry of Health and then, file her.
Cleared everything.
Yeah, we've cleared everything.
But she said she's
some of them had issues with their clearance and all that, but in general, we have cleared the backlog. Roselyn, this is an economy that has provided an ambulance for each district. This is an economy that has recruited over 2 million young people. Today, Honorable sits here to tell us that why have we recruited so many people into the public sector? Because the NDC doesn't believe that government can create jobs for people.
No. It's not a creation of job.
Honorable, you mentioned that. Oh, Honorable, I was quiet when you were here.
Please.
You mentioned that we promised that we were going to move the nation from taxation to production. It is true, we promised that. And that is why we rolled out the 1D, 1F policy. Today, we have 212 factories working actively. 212. I can give you the data here. On the matter of the taxes. On the matter of the taxes. When NPP came to power, we realized that in 2017, we realized that there are several taxes that were nuisance taxes. And so we decided to abolish 17 of them. To start with, we abolished the 17.5% VAT on real estate. Under the NDC, if you purchase a house or a building, you were paying 17.5% of the total amount of the building to government. Today, we have abolished that act. Number two, we abolished the 17.5% VAT on selected imported medicines because we believe in the local manufacturers of medicine like Kena Pharma and the rest. So we have abolished those taxes. Again, 17.5% on financial services. Under the NDC, if you go and keep your money in the bank and you are withdrawing it, NDC will charge you 17.5%. Today, that tax has been abolished. And several others. What excites me the most is the 17.5% VAT on domestic airline. Roselyn here likes to chill in Takrady and Kumasi a lot. Under the NDC,
how many people you see how they do their taxes? That domestic airline.
Oh, let me talk. Anytime you purchase a Passion Air ticket or an hour ticket, the NDC was charging you 17.5% of the amount. Today, we have abolished that. So this is a government that when we came to power, before COVID, we made sure that things were in place. Suddenly, in 2019-2020, COVID just struck us unexpectedly, and that plunged
and that brought us to
for
new taxes introduced by the NPP. We have abolished taxes that NDC brought, and the NPP decided to bring these taxes: e-levy, emission levy tax, 10% tax on betting and lottery winners, 3% VAT flat rate. There's 5% increase in VAT by making the Get Fund levy and NHIL straight taxes, 5% national fiscal stabilization levy, 2% special import levy extended beyond the expiry date of 2017, luxury vehicle tax, that's 1,000 Ghana cedis to 2,500 Ghana cedis, depending on the engine capacity of the vehicle.
No, but that is not in effect.
It's not yet. Not yet. 50% increase in communication service tax. 1% COVID-19 health recovery levy on the 3% VAT flat rate, making it 4% now. 1% COVID-19 health recovery levy on 2.5% national health insurance levy, making it 3.5%. 5% financial sector cleanup recovery levy, 20 pesos energy sector recovery levy on every litre of diesel and petrol, 10 pesos sanitation levy, that's the boiler tax on every litre of diesel and petrol, 18 pesos energy sector levy, recovery levy on every kilogram of LPG, 30% increase in energy sector levies, that's the ESLA, about 11% increase in special petroleum tax from 41 pesos to 46 pesos on every litre of diesel and petrol, 200% increase in bust margin from 3% to 9%, 67% increase of fuel marking margin from 3 pesos to 5 pesos per litre of petrol and diesel, 40% increase in price stabilization and recovery levy on fuel products from 10 pesos to 12 pesos on petrol and diesel respectively, to 14 pesos and 16 pesos on diesel and petrol respectively, 25% increase in primary distribution margin from 8 pesos to 10 pesos, and 36% increase in the Unified Petroleum Price Fund, that is UPPF, from 36 pesos to 46 7 pesos. Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022, Growth and Sustainability Levy Bill 2022, Income Tax Amendment Bill. Increase in road fund levy from 36 pesos to 48 pesos.
So the tax...
No, he's on the floor.
Roselyn, all this, majority of these taxes were passed after the COVID-19. I agree. And like you mentioned earlier on, these taxes, most of them were passed in fulfillment of the conditions laid out by the IMF.
So why is it that when they decided to cut somebody's allowance?
No. You see, ours was because of the effects that COVID-19 had on our economy.
So yours is because...
And the Russian-Ukraine war, you understand? There were external shocks. We were home for over 2 months during the lockdown. During that period, the military personnel were working, nurses were working. Government was paying them when nobody was paying taxes. We were all indoors, but government was drawing monies to pay huge salaries to our public sector workers. Teachers were at home taking care of their kids and all that, but government was still paying them. So let us not lose sight of the fact that COVID has really disrupted our economy, and that is the reason why we are where we are now. But currently, we are on the path of recovery. Very soon, I am aware that by June, most of these taxes will be gone. And the vice president and the flag bearer is telling us that he will make sure as a matter of priority to ensure that the emission levy and several other levies are scrapped.
Okay.
You understand? And so, Roselyn,
that's if he becomes president.
Exactly, Roselyn. Okay. So let us not forget so soon that years ago, COVID-19 were around our necks and everybody was praying for the lives of their loved ones.
So what about the Auditor General's report looking at the monies that were made during COVID-19?
Roselyn, you know, I have a problem with the Auditor General report. The report doesn't prove anything. No, I'm not saying it's not accurate. Okay. It doesn't prove anything. Because sometimes they go to a place, there are irregularities, they do not offer the persons, cited to explain themselves or to... General. Oh yes, that is what they do. Even in their own report, if you look at the preface to their report, they mentioned that Honorable has been in Parliament before. They mentioned that it is not in totality, and that is why the report goes to PIAC, for PIAC to scrutinize the report and to make sure that what the Auditor General is saying is 100%.
So we didn't make money during COVID-19?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Except probably you are.
But from what it's not
no. It is one thing to make money as in profit, and one thing to gain money as in getting support.
So
I do not know what you mean.
So the support that we got, where are they?
Oh, we have established the National Vaccine Institute to make sure that next time when there is any COVID, we will not be importing medicine from Germany.
Okay.
We have built the 100-bed capacity infectious disease center to make sure that next time when there is COVID, there will not be pressure on the UGMC. Oh, it's around
Boys
Constituency. Yes, it's been commissioned. Okay. Oh, it's working.
All right.
It's working. So government has done a lot during this pandemic.
So we use the money to build these 2 centers?
No, and several others. We bought this Sputnik antivirus COVID.
I thought that one, don't go there because there's issue on this Sputnik thing.
And several others. No, Roselyn, but you see, the most important thing is that during the COVID, we were all focused. During the COVID, we were all focused on protecting lives rather than, protecting the economy.
Okay.
And I think that was very important because I know friends and loved ones who lost their parents during COVID. And so I'm sure the economy will bounce back very soon. Let us not mind Honorable and his NDC for playing politics.
It's not we. It is even the people who are listening.
If you think LGBT is something very terrible and unacceptable, why didn't you people initiate it in 2016 and for President Mahama to assent to it?
Why didn't we initiate it?
Anyway, okay, so let me, we have a video that I want to play for you to actually watch, and then after the video, we'll take a final word.
So I can't react.
No, let me try and take the video. So a week ago, we had an interview with Honorable Fred Hibley, and who is a former party chairman for the NPP. And in the conversation, there was a slip of tongue. However, because it's election year, because it's politics, some persons decided to cut the slip of tongue and circulate it, making it seem as though he's against his own party. I mean, when you ask yourself logical questions, you ask, how can somebody who is the former party chairman be against his own party?
He's being honest.
No, he's honorable. There was a slip of tongue.
No,
Sometimes
but the way
we
you
say
act, that's what I'm
things.
saying.
And Roselyn, there was a misrepresentation by your media house.
Let's quickly watch the whole video and you understand where the slip of tongue happened. Please, let's watch it. Going us into your humble abode. Super grateful that we could have this conversation with you. I know that the NPP cannot wait to break the 8. Is there any message you have out there, you have to give to the people out there?
But to my party, man, it's breaking the 8 is not, we can't take it for granted. We need to work hard for it. What I mean by working hard is not by just telling stories, but showing exactly what we are doing, making people see the reality of what is outside, what is happening in the global village, problems people are encountering all over the world, what efforts we are putting in to make ours a little easier, to make governance attractive, to make people know that we are sincere and working hard at it to ensure that life is easier for all of us. This is a blessed country. This is a country that we love each other. We don't have too many problems, and for that reason, let's work together towards ensuring that. And the MPP stays in power. That's all I can say.
Honorable, thank you so much for allowing us into your humble abode. We are super grateful. Honorable, thank you so much. We've seen the full video, and now you understand that there was a slip of tongue, and we still apologize. We actually apologize to. It's actually a portion of the video. We just wanted you to see the portion that there was a slip of tongue, and so we apologize to Honorable for any inconvenience that has been caused, and we'll try and put the whole video out for people to. But the whole video is actually on social media. But we'll cut this portion and put out for people to know that it was a slip of tongue, and people are trying to misrepresent it. We are very sorry about it. Please forgive us, Honorable, and. It's not easy. This job is not easy. It's not at all.
I didn't see the slip of tongue, and I didn't get him well. You know, anytime Fred Blaze is speaking, I find it hard to hear his words and so on. But be that as it may, you were the one who did the interview, and you are saying it was a slip of tongue.
It was a slip of tongue.
You see, but when truth is told in darkness or even indoors, you should not.
It was a slip of tongue.
Be afraid.
No.
To defend it when it comes to the open.
It was a slip of tongue.
Once truth is told indoors,
no, there's no
when
truth
it comes
that has
out,
been told
you should be
indoors.
able to.
This is a slip of tongue, and we are apologizing.
No, I'm not. That's why I reiterated the fact that you did the apology from the beginning, but I've not seen it in any case. But
Honorable,
but
this was a slip of tongue.
Roselyn, are you apologizing for the slip of tongue, or
apologizing for what is circulating?
Who put out the video?
Who put out the video?
Yes, who put out the video? Because unfortunately I can't find the message. But somebody sent it to me. It was posted on Joy Prime's social media channel. Yes. So you should talk to your social media people to verify and fact-check things before they post. Because that was the source of the video. And it was just a 30 seconds video the person posted on your channel. But when I saw it, I realized that because I had watched the full interview. Yeah, so I realized it was just a slip of tongue on the part of Honorable Freddie Blay. But we cannot also blame the person who posted so much because he posted what he heard. So all what we can say now is that next time when there is such a thing, the media house should, at least you have the benefit of the host with you. Verify from the host before you put out such a thing.
I personally, I didn't even see the video until 2 days ago.
In today's Ghana, when they hear a 5-word sentence, they just pick one word and they make something out of it. So let's just be careful. We are going into an election year.
Yeah.
The media is a major stakeholder. So we are begging the media. They should be very neutral and be fair to all. You know, Freddie Blay has really been insulted over the past weeks. And we are sorry to the chairman. I'm sure Roselyn will not deliberate, initiate or instigate something like that.
I called him to apologize, and he actually called me to alert me on the video. And I called to apologize to him. We will definitely put this video out. We are going to issue a statement of apology, and we'll also go probably with a delegation to his house to apologize.
I think that's the right way to go. And Honorable shouldn't make politics out of it.
No, it's not about.
No, but it was a slip of tongue.
When Dr. Before told us that Mahama is incompetent, did somebody make story out of it?
It was a slip of tongue.
Don't leave Mahama out. Tell us that Mahama is incompetent.
Mahama, why is
anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much.
My time is up, so I have Mahama to end is very incompetent. So, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Honorable, my time is gone. I don't have time, so thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to you, Honorable Timothy Ataboadey, and to you, Kwesi Botchway. Thank you so much for being here today. We are super grateful. Honorable, I didn't allow Kwesi. You had your time. Everybody had the same. Everybody had their time. My name is Roselyn Felli. This has been the News Flash segment. We'll come your way again tomorrow. But we have other conversations coming your way. We have Watch Trending coming up. We have sports coming up. And of course, today we are talking. Please, gentlemen,
an economy.
I'm on the floor. I am on the floor. I am on. Can I speak? Please, gentlemen, when we are done with the show, you can go ahead and say what you want to say. Thank you very much. So we have health conversation that we'll be talking about herbal medicine. That's the plants that we use to make medicines to heal ourselves. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Don't go anywhere because these conversations will get interesting. As for my politicians, we always like that. I will be right back. Super grateful that we could have this conversation with you. I know that the NPP cannot wait to break the 8. Is there any message you have out there, you have to give to the people out there?
But to my party man, it's breaking the 8 is not, we can't take it for granted. We need to work hard for it. What I mean by working hard is not by just telling stories, but showing exactly what we are doing, making people see the reality of what is outside, what is happening in the global village, problems people are encountering all over the world, what efforts we are putting in to make ours a little easier, to make governance attractive, to make people know that we are sincere and working hard at it to ensure that life is easier for all of us. This is a blessed country. This is a country that we love each other. We don't have too many problems, and for that reason, let's work together towards ensuring that. And the MPP stays in power. That's all I can say.
Honorable, thank you so much for allowing us to see your humble abode. We are super grateful.